So do you also want to automatically analyze the user feedback? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to analyze and tag user feedback in Notion with sentiment analysis using an AI agent. So like you, I also used to manually analyze the user feedbacks, but this is such a time consuming and a tedious task. So to solve this problem, I have simply created this amazing automation where what is going to happen is that as soon as I add my user feedback in my Notion database, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the analysis, and further we're going to add that analysis back again into a Notion database. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Notion, my AI agent, which is OpenAI, and Notion. And to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen. Welcome to my screen. So in this video I'll show you how to use an AI agent to analyze and tag user feedback in Notion using the sentiment analysis. So this automation scans comments or reviews or the feedbacks of the users and detect the emotions like positive, negative or neutral and categorize them into your Notion workspace. It is perfect for improving products, tracking user experience and gaining actionable insights. So let's dive in and make your feedback process smarter with the help of an AI. So to do this, I'm simply going to open a new tab and open the landing page of Pabbly Connect simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. And now it is opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect, and over here we're going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on this sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here I'm an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this button which says sign in. And once we're going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connects account. And once we're going to click on this access now, it is opening my dashboard, and to get started with this automation we simply have to click on this button which says create workflow, and now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So over here on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I have already created in which I save my workflows. So if you also want to create a new folder, you can go towards this create new folder button and create your own. I have already created multiple, so I'm just going to select one from this only, which is automations, and I'm just going to name this workflow as this analyze and tag user feedback in Notion with sentiment analysis. And then we're simply going to click on this button which says create, and once we're going to click on this create, it is opening the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by a trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of a trigger in a particular workflow. And to get started, I'm simply going to select my trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm simply going to select it as Notion. So I'm just going to search for Notion right over here and select it. And after selecting this, it is asking me for the trigger event. So for the trigger event, I'm simply going to select it as new database item and click on this button which says connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Notion account with your Pabbly Connects workflow, you can simply click on this, select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now we have to click on this blue button which says connect with Notion. And once we're going to click on this blue button which says connect with Notion, over here my Pabbly Connect is requesting to access the Notion account. Alright, so I'm just going to give the access for selective pages only. So I'm just going to go towards the select pages, and I'm just going to give the access for only the selective page, which is user feedback, for which I want to create this automation. Alright, and I'm just going to allow the access only for a single page. If you wish, you can definitely do it for all the pages. And now we are simply going to click on this allow access, and once we're going to click on this allow access, automatically our Notion account will be connected with our Pabbly Connects workflow. And now it is asking me for the database ID. So over here I'm just going to select the same database which is user feedback. So I'm just going to select the same, and now we are going to click on this save and send test request. But before clicking on this save and send test request, I'll just let you know that Notion is a pooling based application. So pooling based application means that this application application will not check for new data instantly. It is going to take some amount of time to check for the new data. And over here in the case of Notion, it is saying the trigger will check for new data in 1 hour. So what is going to happen is that whenever I'm just going to click on this save and send test request, automatically my Pabbly Connect's workflow is going to capture the last response or the latest response made in my Notion account. So first we're going to do the test submission, and then only we're going to click on this save and send test request. So to do the test submission, I'm just going to add a new page right over here, and now I'm just going to add these two details right over here, which is the username and the feedback. So let's say for the username, I'm just going to enter it as test user, and now for the feedback, I'm just going to enter the feedback. So as you can see, I've successfully entered the username and the feedback. And after entering this, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to open my workflow and click on this save and send test request so that Pabbly can capture the response of the same which we submitted right now. So as you can see that this is the name, which is test user, and also you can see the feedback has been captured as the response right over here. So with this, we have successfully completed our trigger step, which is whenever a new item is added in my Notion database, automatically this workflow is going to get triggered within an hour. So over here, if you want to reduce or increase this trigger time, you can go towards this set trigger time by going towards the three dots, and from here you can reduce or increase the trigger time. I'm just going to keep it as 1 hour only and move on further. Now after doing this, I'm just going to move on towards my action step, which is my AI agent, alright, because I want to automatically analyze the user feedback. For that, I'm just going to use my AI agent, which is OpenAI. So I'm just going to search for OpenAI and select it. And now for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as ChatGPT and click on this connect. Now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your OpenAI account with your Pabbly Connect's workflows, you can simply click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the token. And to get this token, we are simply going to follow the help text, and it is saying kindly visit your OpenAI API key page to get the API key that you need to enter here. So I'm simply going to go towards my OpenAI API key page to get the API key. And now from here, we have to go towards this create new secret key. We have to give the key a name, and then we have to select the project and click on this create secret key button to create a key. And as you can see, the key has been created. So I'm simply going to copy this key, and then we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow. And after pasting this, I'm simply going to click on this save. And once we're going to click on this save, with this, we have successfully connected our OpenAI account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it's asking me to select the AI model. So I'm simply going to select it as GPT-4o mini. You can select any another of your choice. Now it is asking me for the prompt. So I'm simply going to enter my prompt right over here. And as you can see, that I've simply entered my prompt, which is analyze the following feedback, return two values, which is the sentiment and the tag. Alright, so I'm simply going to enter the feedback right over here. But we're not going to enter the feedback manually by typing it like this, but instead we're going to map it. So you must be wondering what is mapping. So mapping is a method by Pabbly, which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, previous step was the trigger step where we selected Notion as our trigger application. So we're simply going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only. And as soon as we're going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. Alright, so I'm simply going to map this feedback right over here. For that, I'm just going to look for the feedback in the response of my previous step and map it. And after mapping this feedback, I'm simply going to click on this blue button which says save and send test request. And as you can see that now my AI agent has generated me the sentiment and the tag. So the sentiment is positive and the tag is feature request, right? So yes, I'm just going to add both of these into my Notion database. For that, I'm just going to add another action step. And now for the action application, once again, I'm just going to select it as Notion. So I'm just going to search for it and select it. But this time for the action event, I'm simply going to select it as update page. So I'm just going to look for it and select it and click on this connect. I have already connected my Notion account recently. So I'm simply going to go towards this select existing connection and then save. And after connecting our Notion account, it is asking me for the database. So I'm simply going to select the database. And now it is asking me for the page ID. So we have got this ID in the response of our Notion. So I'm simply going to map that ID right over here. Now we're going to move on forward. Over here, I'm only going to map the sentiment and the tag from the response of my AI agent one by one. We don't have to map the rest two details because those are already filled. And after mapping both of this, I'm simply going to click on this blue button which says save and send test request. And once we're going to click on this save and send test request, we have received the positive response that we have successfully updated our Notion database. So I'm just going to open my Notion account, and as you can see, the database has been updated. So yes, with this, we have successfully completed this workflow. And now what is going to happen is that whenever I add the username and the feedback right over here in my Notion database, automatically my AI agent is going to generate me the sentiment and the tags. We don't have to come back and again to our Notion and over here to our Pabbly Connect's workflow workflow to generate these. We simply have to sit back and relax. All of this is going to happen in backend. We don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. Within an hour, automatically, whenever a new database item is updated, automatically the sentiment and the tag will be added in my Notion. That too without any manual efforts. So go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect. And while trying, if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. See you in the next video with many more automation tips, everyone. Thank you for watching. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can connect many more applications. So now if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this URL. And now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect.